Instagram, any platform that you are very familiar with. Just share and let's spread the word. So this is our agenda, and we won't go through that. And I'd like to also create the indulgence of everyone. We have a very, very tight schedule today. And on behalf of the ESCO, I seek your indulgence and your cooperation in getting through this month's KSS in very good time because of our guest speakers' tight schedule. Right now, without divulging too much information, she's at the airport, but she really has to be with us today, and we appreciate that. So quickly, I will call on the chairman for his opening remarks.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, my General Secretary. Please, can you confirm we can hear me, everyone?
Positive, we can hear you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good afternoon. Oh, also, we have the presence of our fellow Dr. Femi Ogunlowo. Thank you so much. All right, I just want to appreciate every one of us. Thank you for making it to the month of May KSS. Right, it's an opportunity for us to always gather together like this and interact and learn from one another, knowing fully well that HR is one of the
Instagram, any platform that
most busiest career paths, right? And I really want to say a big thank you. Of course, we've been updating the chapter on the WhatsApp group about our initiatives, what we've been doing, what we also plan to do. Yesterday, we had our courtesy visits to James Hope University at Lekki. And of course, next week as well, we are going all out to Chrisland High School at Lekki as well, to speak to secondary school students, telling them about HR as a career path. When you ask a kid, what do you want to become in future? They tell you, oh, doctor, nurse, engineer. Nobody ever mentions HR, right? And that's what we are doing next week, Thursday. I want to encourage us, please make yourself available. There's opportunity for floor members to attend. And of course, for this session today, we have an exceptional leader, thought leader who is going to be taking us today. Please pay attention, please contribute, engage in the session. And I believe that at the end of this session, you will definitely, in fact, you will contact the speaker on LinkedIn telling her thank you and even asking for more time, for us to bring her once again. So thank you so much for your time. Over to you, GS.
Thank you. And I don't know, Chair, if you can invite our dear fellow to take the code of conduct.
Yes, please. Yes, please. We have on the call already, fellow Dr. Ogunlowo. Yes, please, sir. You can unmute your mic. Dr. Femi.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm here.
All right, sir.
So what you will read after me, or you want me to just read and you put your name?
Yes, we'll follow you step by step accordingly.
Okay. The Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, as the apex regulatory body for human resource management practice in Nigeria, is committed to the highest possible standards of professional conduct and competency amongst its members.
I'm not seeing you. Check your device, please.
I'm here.
Sorry, I can hear you very well.
I'm here.
All right. Please go ahead, my fellow.
Okay. Okay, you are muted, sir. You are muted, sir.
They are muting me from the back. It's not me. I think there's somebody, the admin is, the administrator is the one muting. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear, sir.
Okay. The Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, as the apex regulatory body for human resource management practice in Nigeria, is committed to the highest possible standards of professional conduct and competence amongst its members. please put your name. Therefore, as a member of the Institute, please insert your name. I, Olufemi Ogunlowo, pledge that I shall at all times, 1, carry out my duties and responsibilities with integrity and diligence, demonstrate competence and ethical behavior in all my business, professional, and personal activities, respect the laws of the land, promote, encourage, and in place acceptable processes and procedures in the practice of human resource management within my sphere of influence. Endeavor to make personal decisions after considering all options, of which resignation may be one, in defense of this code of conduct, where there are conflicts between my professional obligations and expectations of my roles. So help me God. Please say it, and that's it.
So
Okay.
help me God.
So help me God.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Dr. Ogunlowo. We appreciate your time. And
Thank
quickly, Chair, I'd like to invite you to introduce our guest speaker. We are moving really fast so that we can have time for the main presentation and, of course, Q&A before our guest speaker has to leave. So, Chair, you have the floor. Can we know who our guest speaker is for today, the May edition of Labs KSS? Chairman. Hello, Chair.
Please, can we hear me?
We can hear you now.
All right. Thank you. Please just help me display bio.
Okay, so while we're waiting, can you briefly tell us about yourself?
All right. Please confirm you can hear me as well.
We can hear you now.
All right, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to introduce to us our exceptional speaker for today. Please follow through. We have the privilege of having for today's KSS Mrs. Bukola Thomas, MCIPM, and she's an accomplished human resource management professional who has been providing strategic HR guidance to national and international organizations over the course of the last 2 decades. Wow. Wow, that's very, very, very impressive. She is a well-rounded advisor to business leaders up to board levels in all aspects of people management, including organizational design and structuring, workforce dimensioning, business transformation, performance and productivity, as well as leadership development. Across industries and sectors, she has enabled enhanced people operations, the multifaceted reporting metrics, diverse and digitally evolving transformation journeys. Bukola works across various sectors: financial services, telecommunications, marine logistics, engineering, manufacturing, oil and gas, working in group roles across multi-industry subsidiaries. She's also a dynamic facilitator, and of course, you will get to see that firsthand today. She facilitates sessions across talent management, leadership development, and the people side of sustainability. Bukola is an advocate for leading through kindness through a BTB Kind initiative, and remains ever so passionate about developing and enabling people experience to boost individual as well as business progression. She has led and has been part of the people integration of mergers and acquisition, which is MA. Please give us your digital hand, give us your welcome in the chat box. Please make welcome our very own speaker for today, Mrs. Bukola Thomas. I can't see your digital hand. Lab chatter, come on, give it to us. Welcome her in the chat box.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jenica. Thank you. Please, let's make welcome our speaker for today. Thank you. Over to you, Eunice.
Thank you, Chair. Before our speaker comes on, please endeavor to sign in, complete the attendance sheet as soon as the link is posted in the chat. I can't see the chat because I'm presenting. So as soon as the link is presented, please don't wait till the end of the session to fill the attendance. Mrs. Thomas, you have the floor. I can't wait.
Thank you. And thank you so
So
much.
you can share your screen now.
CIPM. Okay,
Yes.
I will do so. I will try again, and hopefully we don't. So let's put the disclaimer out there already. We'll try again. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining. I think Pelumi, my chair, just wants to give is another level of hype man and hyping, so that you feel like, yes, we're going to do something great. But to be honest, it's just conversations, and I'm happy that is one of the topics that I actually like to speak around, especially since the pandemic. But first, I would like to thank everyone who's on the call, our fellow. We acknowledge you. I'll stand on all the existing protocols. I want to especially thank CIPM and especially the CIPM Lab chapter, which is where I belong, for this opportunity to share my thoughts. And it's something on a topic that I actually am very passionate about. So I will start to share my screen. And if for any reason the screen is not on slide mode, please do let us know. Because we were trying to work on that earlier on before the session actually started. So please, Eunice, keep me honest. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen, but unfortunately not in slides. So, but I think we should go ahead. It's not a showstopper.
Okay,
What do
because
you
it's
think,
actually
Chairman?
on slide mode on my side.
Chairman? Bukola, you have the floor, but because we're counting time and time is running, I'm mindful of that.
No, I know. And thank you. Thank you for also understanding. And I think today is a good example of what we are going to be talking about. We're going to be speaking around remote working, basically, and more specifically, the hybrid mode of working. So today, I'm actually not seated in my office. No, am I seated in my workspace in my house? I'm actually seated in an airport lounge. But I have been working since I got here. I've attended to emails, had conversations, meetings. So, and this is just speaking to what we are going to be talking about today. But let's start with a simple quote from George Penn. It says, hybrid work is actually the future of work, and it will be a key driver of productivity and innovation. And in the last couple of years, especially the years post-pandemic, during pandemic and post-pandemic, a lot of business leaders have been saying, oh, we don't think it's working. Everyone should come back on site. We want everybody in office. We don't know if people are working. But the reality is, for folks that have actually started really embracing remote working and the hybrid mode of working, we started seeing that levels of productivity for some of them have actually improved. So there's empirical data that productivity can actually improve and increase when you are in a hybrid mode. And this is one of the people that have actually boldly placed a quote out there to say, look, it's a key driver of productivity and innovation. And I just wanted to just speak to the innovative part. One of the ways in which people are innovative is when their creativity is really, up there, and they have their creative juices really running. And one of the ways that you do that is when you are actually able to work in different ways, and in the ways that you are able to work better. Some people work in the comfort or in quiet, and some people are very happy to work in the noisy environment. So being able to switch from each side, enables people to actually think more creatively, and to actually bring out things that are very innovative in nature. So, and that's just one of the several quotes that are out there. So I'll just quickly talk on how the world of work has changed, especially, post the pandemic era. So during the pandemic, I remember waking up one morning and Lagos State was shut down. We couldn't go to work. I was working in Dangote at the time, and all of a sudden, we had to work from home. We had to do everything from home. The beauty of it for Dangote at the time, was that they had just recently launched Microsoft Teams. So it couldn't have come at a better time. We had just launched it. We hadn't trained people, but we had just launched it. So of course, the first thing we did was start to train people on how to utilize Microsoft Teams. For people who had desk computers, of course, there was a bit of a gap, but because we were still able to reach out to vendors, get laptops, a couple of laptops had to be purchased for those people. For those who we couldn't absolutely get anything, across them, they joined meetings through WhatsApp calls, and we had to make it work, and it did work. So a lot of things have changed, even in the last couple of years, about work generally. The way we communicate now and provide feedback. Initially, in the past, it used to be top down. Right now, we're doing more up down on the side. People across functions, across cadres, are able to communicate, give feedback. We have all the 360-degree feedback type going on. In the nature of work, people used to work in silos. Now is more around collaborative work, aligning objectives and working together. Leadership, then it was managers who were managing. Now we have managers who are coaching. So why do we work? People used to work for pensions, for gratuity. Now people are working for purpose, people focused. Where we worked in the offices, but now we are working anywhere. And I think I'm a testament to that at the moment. When do we work? Before it was strictly 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 for some, but right now we work at any time. I started working today at 6 a.m. because I wanted to make sure that I covered as much before I had to join the webinar. People processes were usually HR led. Everything about people, they say go to HR, work towards HR. HR is the one that will help you. Now, it's manager led. And of course, the companies used to focus on employee loyalty. Now we are focusing on employee experience. The last one I would mention, because I skipped it as I was going, because I wanted to land on it last, is performance conversations. Before, it used to be annual feedback or mid-year feedback. Now we're doing continuous feedback processes, and that is one of the key enablers for working remotely or working on site. And so these shifts that have been made in the last couple of years, necessitated the new focus that we have, on how we achieve productivity and the levels of productivity that we would achieve. And of course, managing more flexible working experience, becomes a focus and focal point for business leaders to start to really, really think about. We as HR practitioners, and of course, any of the leaders that are in the house today, we have to make that shift, and start to create enabling environments where people can work wherever and whenever. I will quickly touch on the hierarchy of needs. A lot of us will probably have bumped into this at one point in time by Maslow. Initially Maslow's law was just really talking about self-actualization, self-esteem needs, belonging and love, safety, psychological needs. A bit of a shift has now started happening, in terms of self-fulfillment. People are not more about inspiration, want to be inspired, want to be transformational. A lot of us are talking about transformational leadership now. People are saying, apart from just boosting self-esteem, I want to show up confident, I want to contribute my quota. People are thinking around social belonging, connectedness. They don't want to be out there. So the the conversations around DEI and how people want to feel included in things that are happening, it's now really higher. Of course, safety will always be safety. People want to feel safe. But it also goes beyond just safety in terms of physical safety and security, but even also psychological safety, is going up there. And then before, we just say, I just want food, water, and warmth. Now people are saying, my health, my wellness, and my whole being, should be, the focus for employers, and I will show up even better when all of these things are addressed. So let me highlight some key issues with how the world is changing and the concerns around, can we work remotely and be successful doing it? So business leaders would always tell you, oh, are you sure that my managers can, and can support their people if their people are not on site? So my question is always whether your people are on site or whether they are working remotely. What are the tasks that you have assigned to them? The tasks you have assigned to them, are they able to deliver on those tasks? And so that's kind of like the first question. Okay, so what have you given to your staff as work tools? Are the work tools things that they can use virtually, or must they be physically? Most organizations don't use desktops anymore. Desktops have kind of like gone extinct. There are some people use monitors and stuff like that, but most people have evolved to laptops that you can carry anywhere you go. So what have you placed in your organizations for people to actually just be able to work every day? So, and then how are you developing your teams and your managers to be digitally savvy? The world has totally evolved. The digital platforms are what people are using to do work now. So you have to push them, whether they are working on site or remotely. They must be able to use and leverage on technology. The other thing is, how do we measure employee performance? Honestly, ever since I joined, I've moved into HR, which is 23 odd years. Wow, I've been in HR for 23 years, actually. 23 odd years. This conversation about employee performance, how do we measure, has always been one of our sing-alongs. And we have always said, how do I measure? We're not sure that, how do I set the KPIs? Are the KPIs smart? Are they not smart? All those conversations have always been there when we were working physically, possibly even sitting on each other. We always had this issue around measuring performance, and of course ensuring that it's aligned to the overall business objectives. And then we say, how do we reward and how do we retain the productive talent? So these conversations, to be very fair and honest to HR practitioners, none of this has not been an issue even before and prior to the era of increased remote working. It's always been there, and and I've always had an answer to each one, that performance management is how it's very simple. The more we complicate it by saying ballast scorecard, use this one, use this kind of methodology. The simple thing is this: I have an organization, my organization has an objective or objectives, and I look at the objectives and say, how do I arrive at these objectives? I create a line of sight. So if we want to make 2 billion in a year, how do we do that? Who do we need? We need the sales teams. We need, if you're in manufacturing, you need the people who are going to be working in the plant. When you start to layer and say, okay, what are the things that we need to do to achieve this 2 billion? That's already performance management. You have your overarching objective, and you were saying, let us slice and dice. What does HR have to do? The folks and the sales team might say, oh, last year we only did 500 million. If you want us to do 2 billion this year, we need 3 additional people. Voila. HR already knows that I'm going to be recruiting. So HR is already taking their piece in that process. The salespeople might say, we actually need new products. We're selling these 2 products, and we think we need to push more products in the market. Wow, the product development team and the R&D team know that, oh, yes, this is where I come in. And then once the product is developed, we're saying, oh, we need to train people to know how to sell this product. HR comes in again. So as you see, everybody's already getting their KPIs along the same objective called 2 billion naira should be revenue for the year. So, and I know I've said it in a simplistic way, but honestly, that is what performance management is. We're making sure that all of us are, like the NASA story, are keeping our eyes on getting the man onto the moon. This is our overall objective, and we're taking piece. How does everybody contribute to that overall objective? Now, what I've said now, I can do it. I can do interviews online. I can do training online. I don't have to be in the office to actually achieve that. And then in terms of reward, in today's world, we don't put Ghana must goes in offices on payday and say we want to pay people. We pay people electronically. There again, we can do it remotely. So when you start to think about it from that perspective, you are able to start to showcase the fact that yes, we want to see people, we want to ensure people are doing their work, but it doesn't mean that if they are not physically in the office, they cannot do it. So let's talk about some of the tips, because I know that a lot of people want to hear, how do we do it? What do we do? How can we achieve it? So maximizing employee productivity is what we want to achieve. So there, I will talk about some C's, some words that start with C. The first one I'll talk about is care. In the profile, they've already open the fact that I'm an advocate for kindness, and not just kindness for the sake of kindness, but kindness especially with focus on leadership development, teaching leaders how to actually lead through kindness and not feel that because they are being kind to their staff, they will be taken for granted, or people would not do what they need to do because they feel, oh, my boss will forgive me. No, it's not really about that. It's actually the intentionality of caring for the people that work with you, the whole being, the whole person, understanding, okay, even if I'm at work, the chair I'm sitting on in the office, is it an economic chair? Does it make does the occupational health, how do we connect remotely, the connections that I have, and how I'm being kept in the flow of things. We need to be very intentional about it. How do we ensure that people have the right environment to work? For some organizations, they actually do a site assessment once you opt for remote working. That's the ones that are really driving it. They'll come and do a site assessment. Do you have the right chair? Do you have the right table? Do you have the right lighting? Do you have is there a quiet zone in your house? And even though nobody comes to your house, you can do that site assessment yourself and say, okay, I need this or I don't need that. And if you feel that, look, my house is totally not conducive for work, then of course the organization should be able to welcome you to work, and if it's not, they might be able to get collaborative spaces if they don't want to spend on the real estate of getting offices anymore. So so the intentionality of care is making sure that people are able to work and they have the right working tools and the right working environment to thrive in their work, making sure that they as individuals are wholesome, not only the mental health challenges, but also just physically. So do they have the right HMO packages? Making sure that you are caring for them end to end. The other part that we sometimes forget is about their families. So it's not just about, oh, let's give the families healthcare. Sometimes you have to take, as line managers, as leaders, you have to take the extra care to just ensure that people's families are okay. If somebody comes into the office in a day and the person has like a gloomy look, you should just take it, say, I don't want to get into your business, but how are you today? Is everything okay? A lot of times you might find somebody say, oh, something about my daughter. I mean, we had one of the colleagues earlier on this call that said she had to take her son to the hospital. We as business leaders should be able to say, no problem, please stay with your son at home today, and so that you can keep monitoring your son while he's getting better. But obviously, when maybe your child is sleeping, you can catch up with work. Those are the kind of that's what we're talking about around care, and creating a safe environment where people can. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I have comments in the chat. The slides are not moving. We are still on slide 1. I don't know if that's the way it is from your end. We are still on slide 1.
Okay, so Eunice, I think it's better I send it to you. So let me just take that one moment. Bear with me, everyone. Let me just send it to Eunice. Eunice, I had actually asked for your email address before we started. I'm not sure if you. Okay.
Yeah, I've sent it.
Okay, so please bear with me. I will just forward it along very quickly, because sometimes it's actually easier to flow with the conversation when you can see some of the slides moving. Okay, so this is where my age starts to show, when I have to wear my glasses to see what Eunice said. Okay, go shine.
Please bear with us, everyone. We want you to have the best of this learning experience. So give us a few minutes to get this out of the way. Thank you.
Okay. Eunice, I've clicked send on my end. Just let me know when you receive it.
Okay. So I know this is not really in the schedule, but while we are waiting, Bukola, can you talk a bit about how to reward talents? Just a bit, because everybody goes to work and they want to be rewarded, they want to be appreciated for what they do, regardless of the fact that, okay, you get a salary or you get some other benefits for working in that organization or for supporting that team. Can you just throw some light on how should leaders motivate and reward talents? Okay, it has.
Okay. It's with you on the side. Okay, but let me speak to that and especially how it applies. So the idea around getting, most people have this idea that, look, if all I just want is 30 days, make it pay. Maybe that's what it was at some point. But now people are more, like I had shared earlier on, the needs of people are changing and evolving every minute. Of course, everybody wants income that they're going to use to pay bills, pay things around children. So yes, everybody would still want some cash benefits. But I always say, let's continue to focus, let's start to focus more on total reward. So I want to go to, I have healthcare challenges. How are you ensuring people have a cover that they don't have to spend the income, around that? So people want to learn education. So do you have bursaries that you can give them? Because once I pay a bursary for your tuition, and even if I have a bond to say you must work for 1 year, I can't tell you to work for the rest of your life because I paid for tuition. So it's probably a 1 year or 2 year bond. But when you're leaving, I'm not going to say, please, can you drop the knowledge I gave you when you went to school? That knowledge, I'm a beneficiary of bursary during one of my masters. I have 2 master's degrees. Please, I'm not an IFICO, but I try. I'm a beneficiary of bursaries from one of the organizations I worked in. And even though the bond was for 2 years, I only worked 1 year. And yes, of course, you have to pay back some part of the money that was spent. But the truth about it is all the knowledge is still with me. And in fact, I've already shared some of the insights from the learning I got during that master's degree. So you're in rewarding people, you need to really go back to that order of needs, in designing your order. You can go to the next slide now. Yes.
This one?
Yes, this slide. Yes.
Okay.
So I was speaking to it earlier to say in designing your total reward, you need to just touch base with what are the needs of people now, and how can we creatively and cost effectively, meet their needs. So let's not make reward just if I give them cash, if I give them salary, and if I give them bonus, then I've rewarded them and they should be fine and they should be good. People now want more thought process to it. And then of course, from a taxation point of view, if you pay someone all cash, then that person will be taxed heavily. But if there are benefits in kind, you are able to reduce, the tax burden that the organization is bearing and the people themselves are bearing. Again, and if you look at how some organizations are structured, they lay a lot of emphasis on the basic salary now, so that when they are computing your pensions are also very high, But in all of that, you also be looking at the bottom line that, okay, net payouts at the end of the year, people are still getting as much, as you would want them to get, but still you're also giving them benefits in kind, addressing some of the needs that they have. So speaking with staff, doing surveys, doing obviously bigger reward surveys to check where your competition is also very key. You don't necessarily have to be the highest payer, but if you are one of the employers who ensure that people have some particular needs that are effective. Let me give a good example. If you look at your age, the age dynamics or the demographics around age for your staff, and you have many childbearing people, so maybe you have more Gen Zs, more people getting married, and then you just say, you know what, I'm going to provide a creche. You can be sure that many of those people are going to stay because they want to enjoy that benefit. Now, you've not given them cash, but you've given them an environment where their daughters are just on the 7th floor and they are working on the 5th floor and they can go up and all of that. So that is all reward. And, and that's how we need to look at it holistically. So I will skip back quickly into the slides. So let's go to the next slide.
Okay.
Okay. I've spoken to it already, so you can just keep, yes, just keep going, just keep clicking.
It takes a while. Yes. Okay.
Yes, so no,
yeah,
we can start from here. It's fine.
Okay.
So I was just speaking and rounding off this slide to say we have to be intentional about how we care for our staff, and of course set time out to check on people. So if people are working remotely or they are working on site, you must still check on them either physically by stopping by at their desk or picking up the phone or picking up Teams call to call them. Now, one of the reasons why I highlighted is during COVID, a lot of people will say, let's get on Zoom, and people are, in their houses chilling, or maybe, not doing very well, but because they can just click and not share video, you don't know what's happening. So I always used to insist that my team must have video calls in the morning. And even if it's a 10 minutes touch base, I will have that video call because I want to see everybody. I want to be able to read body language. I want to be able to make sure that people are in the right working environments, for them to do the actual work they're doing. But most importantly, just to check on people. And sometimes I would notice someone who is normally bubbly, who is a bit, calmer, and maybe after the call, I'll pick up the phone one-on-one to check on the person properly. That kind of checkup is what we really need. And so having honest feedback conversations, saying, oh, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Can we adjust your deadlines? Can we ensure that you are going to still meet the deadlines? Just that care, because some people might be going through a lot. So if the person whose child is sick in the morning has deadlines, you need to be able to adjust the deadlines or shift some of the responsibilities to one of her colleagues just to manage that period. Mental health challenges, we don't have to talk about it. We all know how the pandemic brought it to the surface a lot, and people are really going through so much, and so just being able to, not just look at only for yourself, but also your colleagues is very important. So that atmosphere of care we have to create for our people, prioritizing care, and well-being. It's and what I left on the note is it's not a separate conversation from performance. It's actually an enabler of people's performance. So you need to look at it, and it's very essential, if you want to sustain the productivity levels that you want your people to have, and it's honestly, it's whether it's on-site or remote. Eunice, you can move to the next slide. Keep going.
Okay, this is communication.
Yeah. There should be 3 boxes, so you can just bring the 3. Okay, perfect.
Are you good?
So yes, very good. Communication, yes. So we have to communicate. Your change management guidelines, when you're having a change, one of the things that they will always tell you is communication. In relationships, there might be counselors in here. Your counselors will always talk about communication. It's in working, some people will just say, he should figure it out. He should know that he's supposed to do it, or they should figure it out. Don't they not know that there's inflation? They should know that there's no money. We have to communicate. So communication is very key. The authenticity of the communication is also very key. What I like to use the word transparent. As an organization, the level of transparency in your communication is also key. People must see that there's a lot of truth in what you are saying, so that you can build the kind of trust that will allow them to know that when you say something, your word is your bond, and then of course you keep them informed about whether it's changes, whether it's regulations that are changing. Having that communication is very key. So you don't necessarily have to come to into the office and say, I'm going to have a stand-up call. Anybody that is not here, well, it's too bad. You can do town halls. The last town hall I ran for my organization a couple of weeks back was on Teams, and all our folks from Abuja, everywhere, they were all on that call. So we can communicate. We can call an ad hoc meeting in 1 hour and get as many people as we can. And of course, we can now get their colleagues, for those who absolutely cannot make it, to also get the same information. Of course, we can use emails. We can use WhatsApp. WhatsApp, honestly, is one of the best things now. This is my phone. I've done WhatsApp with my team today. to be able to disseminate some information. So communicate is very, very important, and you have to do it early. You have to do it frequently. You don't want the grapevine to be foiled by your lack of communication. So no, somebody can just start, you know how Nigerian, and we all say, no, it's fake news, it's fake news. Somebody can just start fake news and it can have a very, very bad ripple effect on your teams. So when it comes to performance as well, clearly define what the performance expectations are and communicate it, and make sure that you agree and there's shared understanding of how it's going to be measured. And so I just highlighted that, look, we need to have strategies for ensuring that everybody is part of a meeting, whether you are on site or remote, which is why we have all these means of all these channels that we can use to communicate. We have to drive inclusivity. So if you are setting up a committee for any reason and a few people are working on site, you can still add people who are remote, because there are many collaborative tools that people can collaborate together and perform. And of course, leverage on communication tools is what we had just finished talking about. So Eunice, you can move to the next slide. Okay, so collaboration, the next C. So we've talked about care, we've talked about communication, and the next C is collaboration. And I started talking around collaboration as well. Eunice, you can just press it one more time. Okay, so this quote I always love: the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. A lot of times people work in silos. So admin is doing something here, legal is doing something here, finance is doing something here, the sales teams are doing something. In fact, sales and marketing is always, and brand, they're always the nice ones. Brand is developing one campaign. Meanwhile, sales are like, what are you talking about? Then product people are developing products. They're not talking to the sales team. You know, that the collaboration of the sales team bringing feedback from the field and the product developers developing relevant products and services for the market, and the brand now actually branding the products, you know. So that value chain speaks to collaboration. If we all come together in a room, have a shared objective for the organization, bring in all our skills towards that shared objective for the organization, then that wholeness, that wholesomeness of the conversations that we're having is definitely greater than every other parts that are all around. So we have to create collaborative spaces, whether it's online, you know, with all those the platform, and I'll share a few, or whether it's on site, you know, physically. You should have areas. You know, I've worked in an organization where we had things called, there are meeting rooms, there are pause areas. Those pause areas are like having cocktails, where you just have high tables. People put their laptops on, bring their coffee, and you know, because of wellness, you know, and say you have to stand up every 30 minutes or stand up every hour. They have some of those meetings where they have a stand-up meeting, you know, and so we're getting two for the price of one. We're getting our collaboration done, but we're also getting the wellness levels up. So create really love, and like I said, it's not about money. People say, oh, we don't have money for that, but honestly, some of those tools are much cheaper than some of the other tables and all that we buy. So create collaborative spaces, have structured brainstorming sessions, all of which you can do both remote and on-site and in person. So, and then, so I talked about collaborative hours, you know, flexible hours, you know, it's something that we just have to start thinking about properly. A couple of organizations, I believe Shell is one of them, they actually have flexible working hours. Some people resume at 6, 7, 8. So if you resume at 6, you close at 3. If you resume at 7, you close at 4. If you resume at if you resume at 8 or 9, you close at 5. Those kind of environments, you tell yourself the collaborative hours that will work together would be between 9, when everybody for sure is in, and 3, when everybody is still in, before the people that are going to close at 3 start leaving. So between 9 and 3, 6 solid hours, you can make those your core collaborative hours within your organization. Share digital spaces. This is one of them. We're on Zoom. This is a digital space that we can share to do a lot of work. You know, so I mentioned things around Slack, Trello, Microsoft Teams, you know, even your plain vanilla WhatsApp group. You know, you can even do video so that you can check that everybody's truly present and truly present in the meeting and engaged. So create those spaces for collaboration, because in today's world, if we have a shared goal, then we need to also make sure that we give people and equip people to meet those goals. So optimizing productivity, is the next thing I will talk about. So we are managing time and priorities. So these are some of the productivity tools that you can use. That matrix around urgency and importance. What is urgent? What is important? Create that framework. Look at everything that you need, all the tasks that you have in front of you, and effectively manage your time. Time blocking. I do block time when I know that I need to do some serious brain work. I block out time so that my calendar is not free for that time. We're cultivating focus, ensuring that you're not distracted. So I came into the lounge today. There are two parts of the lounge I'm sitting in. There's a part that is like where I am with high stools for work. That is where I'm sitting. I'm not sitting in the area where the TV is on and I'll be quickly looking at whatever home video or something that is going on. So make sure that you have its strategy to focus and avoid distractions. Goal clarity, we've talked about it, is very important that people are clear on the goals and what you need. And I put this here very importantly, outcome driven. For you to maximize employee productivity, you have to shift your mindset to outcome driven. What is the outcome that we're trying to drive? Whatever mode of work you choose, whatever time of the day, what is the outcome that we're trying to achieve? That should be our focus. And I just mentioned, whether if you are remote, make sure that you have minimal distraction and you have the right chairs and space to work. On site, we still have to have some design. We have quiet zones, collaborative hubs, just ensuring that people have the right environment to work. And if our choice is hybrid, then we know that we must ensure that all the access to the resources that we need to work are equitable. So you can move to the next, Eunice. Yeah. So just go on. There are 3 blocks and one more. One more and one more. Yes, perfect. So now let's talk about managing performance, even though I've talked a bit about it, but I'll just highlight a few things. Of course, with the way COVID disrupted a lot of things at the time, it was very important that we started working in a lot of agility, which is what a lot of organizations did. Some people had to place people on hold, to say, look, if we start up and we start making money again, we'll bring you back. But for the folks that were able to be agile, to think on their feet, what can we do? They were able to weather that period. So agility is very important. So whatever goals that we're setting, we must make sure that they're speaking to some level of agility. So if things are changing, we're able to go back to those goals and rejig them and still keep the overall objective in mind. Make sure that your goals remain smart, whether you are on site or remote. Your goals have to be it has to be smart, and that people agree to them. As when you are thinking about giving feedback, as opposed to waiting till middle of the year after a whole 6 months, or waiting till the end of the year, which is even worse. You can have ongoing conversations. And for people that are working remote, you can actually have check-in sessions once a day or once a week, or just making sure that people are still with their eyes are still on the ball and they are actually delivering on the task that you have set for them. So we have those big goals for the year, or you can break them down into tasks so that you can be checking that people are achieving the task that would involve the whole objective at the end of the year. So check-ins, and so something I call checkouts, or something you have to check out what people are doing. And quarterly reviews are part of the ongoing conversation that you can have. And then in terms of performance criteria, when leaders are assessing people, you must make sure that you block and make sure that there are no biases. So you won't say, oh, this person has been working remotely for 3 weeks. I'm not sure it's working, so please give him he just managed to meet expectations, and because of someone that has been on site who doesn't necessarily have delivered on all the tasks, give him exceed expectations rating. So we have to make sure we reflect on the biases and eliminate them as much as possible. So the shift, the shift is shifting our focus from just activity tracking alone, but outcome driven. What is the outcome at the end of the day? I think one more shift. Yeah, please go ahead. You preempted the conversation around rewards, so I can say we've kind of talked about this. So when we clearly define the goals and objectives and the outcomes we're expecting, we will also clearly define what the employee value proposition would be, what we'll be giving people, how do we differentiate the reward packages. So if you are giving me value that is at 10 billion, and somebody else is giving me value at 1 billion, should I have differentiated rewards? I believe clearly so, because you want to reinforce the behavior of your 10 billion, and you also want to encourage your 1 billion. So if you've met your target, yes, you should get whatever bonus is attached. But if you are exceeding it, then we should also give some additional increase as well. And so basically, this is just speaking to reward. I don't want to rehash it because we've had a good conversation around it. Next slide. Okay, so I just wanted to talk. I think you moved too quickly. Yes. Just wanted to touch on how you can leverage technology around all of this. So we talked about, task and project management. These are some of the tools that you can use and leverage. When people say AI is going to come and take over, I'm like, okay, so AI has to put on itself. AI has to manage the maintenance. I know that we might get into some crazy eras when robots are just walking around the corridors and doing stuff for us and things that we normally plan. But the reality is that the creativity, it's still going to have to be a human doing it. So I always tell people, as opposed to you just trying to get robots all around the place, how about just using technology for what it's supposed to be, an enabler? Technology is an enabler. Use it for that. Makes things faster, makes things easier. You can do more data mining and all of that. Why don't we focus our energy a lot on how we can utilize it to make things better, while we also create environments where people can creatively, build and be innovative in their thinking, design thinking, shaping, doing more things, being more competitive, in the products that we are offering to our clientele. So those are some of the technology platforms that you can use and apps that you can use. Focus, time tracking apps, automation tools, knowledge management. How we how we ensure that the data and the information are kept in an archive of sorts. And so what I just said, look, let's choose the right technology and of course also avoid technology overload. During COVID time, we were all tired of webinars and stuff like that. So we all wanted to just run away, from it all. But yes, these are some of the tools that can actually help you track people's outputs, help them themselves ensure that they stay on track in what they are doing. Next slide. Should be the, yeah. One more. Yes. So I just want to leave us with the slide before this, Eunice.
Sorry.
Eunice doesn't want you to hear these quotes.
So can you see it?
Yes, I can. Just wondering if everyone can see it. So one more.
It's coming.
One more click.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So this quote simply says, "Success in a hybrid work environment requires employers and business leaders and HR practitioners to move beyond viewing remote and hybrid environments as a temporary thing. Oh, it was COVID, 6 weeks of not coming to work. Let's move it from a short-term strategy and treat it as an opportunity. It's actually an opportunity. It's an opportunity for people to save on real estate, save on band A, band B, band C, electricity bills, save on buying, chairs, tables. There's an organization I know, and you'll be shocked, a lot of them are even in Nigeria as well, that actually say when you are doing your interviews and you get to offer, they'll say, where do you want to work, remote or on-site? And I'm like, oh, and they'll tell you, okay, we'll come do a site assessment, make sure you are set up and all that, because really and truly we would like to save on the additional real estate space that you're going to take up. So we'll just have workstations for people who ultimately really have to come. And then we would also say, those hours are only between the hours of 9 and 4, because we also want to save on electricity bills. So there's opportunity. And then let me tell you the one that is also key. For key talent, people that know their onions, like everybody that is on this call, for you to have stayed this long is because you know your onions. People that know their onions, one of the things is that it is now an employees market when it comes to those kind of people. So you don't have so many people who truly are key talents. So your key talents now, they know that they are effectively working from home. So when they come for interviews, they'll say, please, what is your mode of work in this organization? The minute you say it's fully on site, they're like, okay. I even have people in my current organization who say, the minute you change to fully on-site, just know that in a couple of weeks or months, I'll look for something else, because now I'm used to working remote or hybrid, and so I'm going to look for something else that gives me that opportunity to work. So to even get key talent, some of the people that I've employed in recent times, I've employed them saying, we do hybrid where I work, so it's also a selling point and an opportunity to get the kind of talent that you want. And then lastly, I would just say my advocacy is really for hybrid work, not full on-site and not full remote. I believe that time, I call it the touch, I call it touch points. You know how you say check-ins or checkpoint? I call it touch points. Those touch point moments are very important, especially when you're doing business transformation and you are doing a culture transformation. You can't want people to come in, have team bonding sessions, have those collaborative sessions. You can make sure, and of course you want to make sure people are okay. You can see people, sometimes someone can say, oh, wow, you've lost so much weight, are you okay? Sometimes you can't do that online. Sometimes you can say it, so that touch point period is really great. And so my advocacy today is on hybrid, and my second advocacy is that leaders, please, and HR professionals, let us encourage our leaders to lead through kindness, have the right levels of care, communicate effectively, create collaborative workspaces, optimize how we leverage on technology, and then of course, let's truly showcase the opportunity that we have. On the stroke of one, Eunice, I hand over to you. Thank you so much. It's really been a good speaking, and I hope people have questions and we can talk more collaboratively.
Thank you. Can we give a virtual round of applause to Mrs. Bukola Thomas? I have enjoyed this presentation. I've been taking notes like I was preparing for JAM exam. It's been very value adding. A round of applause for her. Just show her some love, show some appreciation, some virtual appreciation, and we'll have time for some questions. Bukola, maybe like 15 minutes. This is already one. So we can, if you have a question, I've checked the chat. I can't see any question there for now. So if you want to ask a question in person, kindly unmute and ask. We'll take like 1 or 2 questions. Then we show appreciation to our guests. Thank you, Chinasa, for those round of those claps. Everybody celebrating our guest speaker. It's truly appreciated. I've learned a lot. If there is no question, I want to go quickly. I want to invite, I will stop sharing this slide. I want to invite Mr. Belief to appreciate our guests. Belief, Aido.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. Yes. All right. I guess we're meant to have the certificate on the screen.
Yes, I'm trying to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen, but we still have Bukola's thank you on it.
Okay. Okay. It's my time to struggle with the sharing now.
Okay. So I feel better now. So that is where the 12 was.
So, can you see the certificate now, please?
Not yet.
So what am I sharing, please? What can you see?
We see thank you. Many thanks on my screen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the certificate is on.
Okay, thank you. So you have the floor, please. Thank you,
All right,
Mr. Idu. Thank you for doing this for us.
Thank you so much. It is my honor to.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you, but I'm just seeing Jacqueline's hand raised. I just want to be sure it's not like.
Okay. Jacqueline, you have the floor, please, briefly. Jacqueline.
Okay.
Maybe it was an error. Jacqueline. Okay, please go ahead, Mr. Aidu.
All right, thank you. Yes. Okay, it is my honor and privilege to appreciate our guest speaker, Mrs. Bukola Thomas. Obviously, it was an insightful engagement for today. And I just want to thank you for this brilliant opportunity to have discuss with us, on this special topic that is actually timely as well. Your presentation was not only timely, but it was obviously relevant to today's world of HR practice, especially as organizations continue to navigate hybrid work structure. Thank you so much as well. You provided us with article strategies and valuable perspective that we can immediately put into use in improving our team efficiency in our different companies. So we truly appreciate you. We appreciate your time. We appreciate this knowledge, the KSS session with you. As a token of our appreciation, I'm delighted to present to you the certificate of appreciation in recognition of your meaningful contribution to today's KSS. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we give honor to, as we give a resounding round of applause to Mrs. Bukola Thomas. Thank you once again. And we hope to host you again in the near future. Hope you're going to accept our invite next time. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Honestly, I don't take the opportunity for granted because your learning loop is fully covered when you not only know something and learn something, but also when you actually express and share that knowledge with people. So thank you for the opportunity to close one of my learning loops. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. GS, please, back to you, please.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ayidu. Thank you so much. Jacqueline, your hand is still up. Okay. Any other question before we let Bukola off the hook for now? While we can just take one question or two, and I have one, and that has to do with the segment of kindness. We have heard it said in the professional, in the secular professional area, as HR professionals or whatever profession that you are, among leaders, that kindness is a sign of weakness. What will be your response to that? That's kindness. When you are kind to your team members, you are kind to your subordinates, your direct reports, it's a sign of weakness. You have to show that you are the boss.
Okay, so I think it's a perception, and maybe how they say a bad person has made good people look bad. In the same, and that's a Yoruba adage that I just translated to you, that a bad person has made the good people even look bad themselves. But the truth about it, and in my experience in the last 22 decades or years of working with people, the fact that you are kind to somebody doesn't mean that you are not firm or you're not assertive, on the things that needs to be done. The idea is that you should let people know what they need to do, be firm about the timelines and all that, but you can also show a level of kindness to ensuring that they have the right tools to work, they have the right environment to work. You are checking on their own personal well-being, that they are okay, and also making adjustments where is required. So somebody's son is sick, you are allowed the person to work remotely for that day. Those are all acts of kindness. Bringing a coffee, I'm going to the office and I'm taking a coffee for my team or donuts for my team. It's acts of kindness. It's a form of endearment. Maybe you overheard somebody saying, "Oh my God, my laptop sleeve is spoiled. Oh, what do I do?" And you just say, "You know what? I'm just going to buy a bunch of laptop sleeves for everybody." But that singular act of kindness, makes the person feel seen, feel appreciated, feel loved. That feeling also induces, so it's kindness is actually a science, and that's another webinar for another day. We'll have a full webinar, but kindness is a science, and that science is that when you receive kindness, there's a way it also affects your psychology and physiology. So and that's medical science is proven, so, and then people that actually show acts of kindness, they also have a boost in particular enzymes that secrete, and some of those enzymes actually help your creativity and your innovation. So the fact that I'm being kind to you doesn't mean I'm not going to ask for this deadline, for this to be done, and doesn't mean I'm not going to give you a poor rating if you haven't done the task well. But I'm saying I'm going to care for you as an individual, be kind to you as an individual, and the expectation is that usually there's a reciprocity that comes from the person to say, oh, if it's Bukola, I'm going to go the extra mile, that kind of thing, just because Bukola actually takes some time to care for me, and yes, I've been a recipient on both sides, of being led by a kind leader, and of leading, people through kindness. And there is empirical data, and I will promise to come back to talk about kindness and how it enables productivity.
Well said, Bukola, thank you. I think we can take one more question. I have a DGT. Your hand is up. That is the name I can see on the screen, DGT. Can you unmute and ask your question or make your contribution?
DGT. Yes, thank you very much. My name is actually Deji Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much. My name is Deji Thomas, and I think everybody will probably know me better as Mr. Bukola Thomas, since I'm the Mr. of Bukola Thomas. But the question I wanted to ask, and to put Mrs. Bukola Thomas a bit on the hot seat, has to do with probably what she would call the more workers at quite a bit when we're talking about the issue of having people and being able to accurately monitor exactly how much productivity we're getting from them. We've empirically proven over time that we actually even statistically get longer work hours from the staff when they work remotely from home. And I have always said to her that, how then would you say a more I'm struggling to find the right word to express what I'm trying to say, but I'm looking for a way to properly remunerate them for the extra hours, because it's a bit difficult to start to increase specific people's salaries because they work longer hours while they're at home, when somebody else is still doing the regular hours that you employ them to work at while they're at home. So we could have two people where I, for one, may do my normal 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but 7 p.m. or even 8 p.m. Now, it's a bit, I don't think it's very fair to increase Bukola's salary because she did extra hours while I did. So, Bukola, we've not been able to see eye to eye on this, and I think maybe this is a good place. Maybe this is a good place to try and resolve this now.
Well, honestly, and thank you. Like I call him my sponsor, my own Odogu. But the truth about it is, and it's a very valid question, and I actually have line managers and business leaders actually ask me that. The reality is that, just go a step back to what I said, it's about outcomes. So it's outcome driven. So I'm rewarding the value, the actual value I'm getting from you. So it doesn't matter if you are working remotely or you're working on site. If I am outcome driven, if I'm looking at the outcomes and scoring you on the outcomes that you're giving, then, and my reward process should be reward for performance. So I'm rewarding for performance. So if I've asked you for 10 things and you've given me 12, you say, okay, if it was a bonus calculation, okay, for the 10, I'm going to give you your normal bonus, but because you've done this extra 2, I'll add bonus, but another part to it. But you are not looking at where the person is seated, and you're not looking at the number of hours the person is putting into it. Some people are faster in delivering something. Some people are a bit slower. Some people are saying, okay, because they are working remotely, they'll take their time to do it. They'll go for a bit longer breaks, and then you see them still clocked in at 8 p.m. As long as you're focusing on the outcomes that you are expecting, and you are looking at the value that the person is bringing and contributing to your organization, then reward for the value that you are getting, not necessarily the hours that have been put in. Because like a lot of people say, I'm not going to reward the effort, is what is the results that I'm going to reward. So based on the output and the actual value, the quantifiable value that the person has added, you should reward that person. So when you get to the end of the cycle, you can say, if you get a exceed expectation scoring, then I'm going to add 10% to your salary. So that is not because the person worked 24 hours. It's actually because the person delivered on the task, delivered on the results, delivered on the outcomes, you know, and then exceeded what you had asked for the person. So I think that would help.
I wish we have more time, but I think we can finally take one question from the chat. Then we can let Bukola off the hook, and so that she can focus on itinerary.
My flight.
Yes, and this person says, the name I can see here is Ochuko. And this person says, what if a company have an hybrid work system, and it is the day that the person that's supposed to be on site comes with plenty excuses not to be on site?
And, you know, there will be genuine cases and there will be not so genuine cases. So one of the things that we always preach for as HR practitioners is that who is the emergency backup for every person, especially people that are in critical roles that can have major impact on the operations of the business. So when we're doing succession planning and looking at it, we identify critical roles that can cripple the organization. So for instance, if you are doing manufacturing and the person that, or cement, and the person that's supposed to add the it's called clean, I think there's a particular thing that's not a lot, so but if it's not in the cement mix, it's not going to happen. If that person, for some reason, you know, the person on that shift is not around, who is the emergency backup to that person? So we always have to make sure that we work on an emergency backup system so that if anything happens, because whether you are supposed to be on site or supposed to be remote, anything can happen to you at any time. But the organization must always run an emergency backup system, especially for critical roles that can actually stifle, you know, productivity for that day. So I think that would be the short answer I will give. And when excuses now become a lot, then that is an absenteeism and all of that. Those are and then of course your disciplinary policy starts to kick in at that point in time, because you're not supposed to be absent without leave. If you don't have genuine cases and we can't validate, you know, we'll start having a performance and absenteeism conversation at that point.
Well said, Bukola. Let me call on the chairman of the lab chapter, Luakben Pelumi, for some parting words for you before we let you go.
Thank you so much, Eunice.
Chairman.
Thank you so much, Bukola. That was super insightful. And thank you, Mr. BT too. Thank you. I think that really spiced up the session for us. Thank you. Please, this is a general and open appeal to we'll be calling you back to lab very, very soon. Yes, we understand and recognize your busy schedule, right? But we want more of this, and we want to say a big thank you on behalf of all the executives. We want to say thank you for this session, and we pray that you will continue to go higher and higher even in your career. So thank you once again. Please, if you have more session, Kola is super active on LinkedIn. I think I even knew her on LinkedIn first before knowing her in lab chapter. So please feel free to engage our post on LinkedIn. Feel free to, you know, seek insights that can help you in the development of your workplace policies as well. Thank you. Over to you, Jess.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And have a safe flight, Bukola. All the best wishes and safe travels.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just permit me to just thank the lady who has been helping me here. She's been very patient and allowed me to just take over the lounge for a couple of hours. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And thank you to Access Bank. Let me give them small publicity, you know, for allowing me to use their lounge. Okay, thank you. I will leave the meeting. Please bear with me. I'm not being rude. I just trying to catch my flight.
We understand.
Thank you.
So if you have not filled the attendance form, please do so. It's important that you register your presence while you are here, while you are on this platform. So I like to call on, I think that Vivian, the branch general secretary, to help us talk about a bit about CIPM and you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Am I audible?
Very, very, you are.
Okay, thank you very much, facilitator, for today. That was very, very interesting. Though I joined in late, but I was able to pick in one or two things. So I'll just be talking about the activities that the Institute is going to have this year, those that are out already. So tomorrow, as we all know, is going to be the AGM. It's expected that we would have registered our virtual attendance. So there was a mail that was circulated for us to register if we'll be attending virtually or physically. As at yesterday, the physical registration ended, but it's still open for virtual attendance. It's the 56th annual general meeting for the Institute. And I also need to add this, that for this attendance, if you register and attend the AGM, you also have a point that you can use for upgrade. So, when you want to upgrade from an associate to a full member or to a fellow, there are certain criteria that are needed. And attendance to the AGM is also part of it. So I implore every one of us to check our emails and try to register for tomorrow's AGM. And also not just register, be a partaker. Let's come into the AGM. Let's have a feel of what the Institute have for us and what they've done so far in the last year and what's going to happen in the next year. And then tomorrow, they're also going to announce the new leadership of the Institute that is going to pilot the Institute for the coming year. Having said that, I will also bring to your knowledge the 17th Special Human Resource Forum. So it's happening in June, 19th of June. And interestingly, it's going to be a Zoom event. The flyers are out already. You can check the website, you can check the social media handles. It's there for members. Financial members is 30,000 naira, and for the non-financial members and non-members of the Institute, it's 40,000 naira. I also advise we also partake in this. Let's gain new knowledge, and also let's get some points that we're going to use for our upgrade when it's time for us to upgrade. So again, another activity that is happening very, very soon, and this just came out today, is our HR Oscar Award. So 2025, we are going to have our HR Oscar Awards, and the application is open. As the HR manager or the key pilots, human manager or people and culture person, champion in your organization, you can actually register, apply, so your organization can also be awarded. An application was opened May 5th, and it will be open till June 6th of this year. And we can also visit the website for that information. And finally, this is the Odogu, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in Abuja come October 27th to 30th of this year. And this is where we are having our 57th International Conference and Exhibition. That's the ICE 2025. There's an ongoing discount for registration. Registration is still on. And let me just chip this in. For those of us that want to attend ICE, we can start booking our flights now. You will get them at very cheaper rates than waiting till probably October to book our flights. So we want to attend. Let's register for the ICE. And all of these events that the Institute has put forward, for everyone you attend, it's advisable you get your certification, you get a notification that you've attended, because when it's time for you to upgrade, these are the things that will help you to gather points. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of us tomorrow, virtually or physically, at the AGM. Thank you very much. That'll be all from my side.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, our branch general secretary. It's a lot of information you have shared. Thank you for bringing us up to speed. Next on the agenda is the membership requirements. And I'd like to call on the financial secretary to help us with this. Sheung. Is Sheung on the call?
GS, just before you continue, I can see a hand is raised. I don't know if there's a question or clarification.
No, that hand has been raised. And maybe it's an error because we've asked if she has a question. And I don't think she's still on the call. We've made that announcement over and over. Or if you are back, okay, the hand is down. Yeah. So is Sheung on the call, please?
Either Sheung or Uchenna.
Or Uchenna. Can Uchenna help us out with this slide? Okay. So we move on to welcoming of new members, announcements, and lab chapter meetings. And this is the call for VC. I think she's on the call. Is VC on the call?
Yes, please. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. My AGS. Thank you. Yeah, please permit me.
All right, please, just before we continue. Sorry, VC. Please, I think the VC can also still take the previous slide, so that the entire information is crucial as well. Please help us display the previous slide. She will take both of them. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, 1 second, please.
Okay. All right, so for the membership requirement, yeah, to be recognized as a member of lab chapter, the following are required. 1, registration with and payment of annual dues to the national body, and the registration with and payment of annual dues of the chapter. This is the 10,000 naira per annum. Our account details are as follows: Access Diamond Bank, Lab PPC 004, account number is 004 006 5279, and a minimum of 4 learning sessions in a year. So to be a bona fide member of our chapter, these are the requirements, as well as minimum attendance of 4 learning sessions in a year plus our payments. And we admonish and appreciate those who have been following this guideline and also doing so. So I think that's it for membership requirements. GS, can I proceed with the
new
announcements?
Yes, please.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity once again. So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I lost track of time. It is always a delight to be in your presence, and today is not different. So I would like to welcome warmly all our new members to this vibrant and professional family called Lab Chapter. We are excited to have you on board, and we look forward to growing and achieving great things, big things together. So I'm shouting out to our new members, the ones that were recently onboarded, and of course, the ones that have joined the call and would like to also join our chapter. I am saying thank you for joining, and we hope to see you constantly. Also, a big cheer and shout out to all our April birthday celebrants. We celebrate your lives, your milestones, and the value you bring to this community. And of course, our May celebrants in arrears, happy birthday in advance, and in retrospect, may the year be filled with growth and fulfillment for you all. Now, to some quick and important announcements, I want to appreciate our General Secretary of the Lagos State Branch. She has already given us a quick insight to the election, so I'm just going to skip that. Then I'll quickly give a heartfelt appreciation to our hardworking ESCO and fellow chapter members who represented us excellently during the courtesy visit to James Hope University yesterday. Your efforts are truly commendable and reflect the professionalism of our chapter. Next, I would like to invite us all both our ESCO members and all the chapter members for our next advocacy visit, which is to happen on Thursday, May 15th at Chrisland School, Lekki, scheduled for 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We encourage those who, in the same spirit, went to James Hope University, please turn up for this event as well. Let us show up strong and continue to build impactful partnerships. Thank you all for your attention and your continued commitment to excellence. Once again, I welcome all our new members and all those who have sat still and patient on the call for today's KSS. Thank you very much, and we love you. Thank you, GS. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, VC. Before we have the vote of thanks from the chairman, I will ask you at this point, excuse me, if you can turn on your camera so that we can have a virtual shot of photos. If you can turn on your cameras, if you are camera worthy, like some people normally say, I am not camera worthy. So if you are camera worthy.
Priscilla or DJ, are you in this part of the country or you are in Canada? Your background is looking like you're in Canada. Hello, Mr. Adedeji. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank
you so much.
It's nice having you on the call.
Okay,
thank you so
I'm
much.
seeing very few people. Okay, I like that background too. So just give me a few minutes. Let me turn it on back. Our branch GS, can we have your pretty face? I'm seeing very few cameras are on. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all. Mrs. Uche Nwachukwu, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. It seems you are in the office, right?
Yes, I'm in the office. I'm in my office.
Oh, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for organizing
this. Mr. Sunday, thank you so much for joining. Thank you. We really appreciate your time, sir.
Okay, Chair, vote of thanks so that we can take our leave.
All right, thank you. I guess many persons who are not switching it, possibly in a meeting, still at work, or possibly even in transit. Once again, I want to say a big thank you. I understand that we all have varying degrees of commitments, right? Work, families, so many commitments, and HR, trust me, is one of the most busy career paths in this time and age. And I want to commend everyone who have joined. At the point, we had a total of 47 participants on the call.
Yes, 47.
Because some people were joining in and out, maybe network and things like that. Thank you so much. We are truly, truly grateful to have you on the call. Because we've intimated you with the engagement and initiatives that the chapter is working on. We'll definitely keep you posted, even on the group chat, so that you can know how to also play your role and also involve actively. You know, when we see your face and get to know your names like this, when there is now a need, it's easier for us to, you know, identify with you. Maybe you want to have your membership upgrade or things like that. It's easier for us to identify with you. But when it's just time of need that you reach out to us, it's going to be quite difficult. But I love the fact that the turnout today was massive, really, really great. I want to say a big thank you on behalf of the executives of CIPM Lekki Ajabaduri chapter. Thank you so much for today. We have managed our time very well. So thank you so much, Secretariat. This is 1:30. We've really managed our time very well. Thank you so much for making it very engaging. And it's been a very wonderful PSS. Thank you so much. Over to you, GS.
Thank you, Chairman. May I call on Mr. Adedeji Omotayo for closing prayer, to give us closing prayer?
Okay.
Thank you,
sir.
man. Yes, yeah. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, Lord of Lords, King of Kings, the omnipotent Father, the El Shaddai God, the I am that I am, the Rose of Sharon, the Lion of Judah. Father, Lord, we thank you, Father, Lord, for taking total control of the activities of today regarding today's meeting. To you be honor, praises, and adoration in Jesus Christ. We thank you for bringing in a wonderful facilitator that was able to impart a lot of knowledge and understanding regarding the topic that was discussed today. We say to you be honor, praises, and adoration in Jesus Christ. As we continue with all the activities of today, we say, please take total control. We'll commit all the school members under everyone's. Please continue to bestow on them the wisdom and understanding to lead us to the next level so that we'll have cause to glorify and magnify your name. In Jesus Christ's mighty name, we have prayed with thanksgiving. Amen, amen, and amen.
And on that note, on that very high note, we draw the curtains on May knowledge sharing session for the lab chapter, and by God's grace, we'll see each other at the advocacy visit at Chrisland Schools on the 15th. Let's endeavor to make it and be part of even the AGM for tomorrow, be part of it. Endeavor to make it count. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. And GS,
Sorry,
thank you so much as well.
the Chrisland, is it the one in VGC?
Everyone.
No, the one in Lekki.
The one in Lekki.
The one in Lekki phase 1.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sorry, please. GS, where exactly in Lekki? Where exactly?
Peter, can you answer that, please? Can you clarify exactly, because I wanted to use Google Map, but since that question has come up, where exactly it is in Lekki? Mr. Peter, please.
I think it's gone.
Oh, okay. But we'll post it in the chat. We'll post details in the chat.
Yeah, but how many do they have in Lekki? Do you have any idea?
All right.
Sorry?
How many do they have in Lekki? Do you have any idea? Because I know one particular one in Lekki of yeah.
I think there's one Chrisland in Lekki. Then there's one on this axis, Awoyaya side. But we'll post directions on the chat as the day is getting nearer as well. But you won't get lost, Mr. Believe. I'm so certain of that.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
You put the tracker on me.
In addition to what DS has said, we'll definitely drop the address and also maybe a brief description of how to get there, right? But of course, the secretariat will still send a message to the group so that you can identify and register your names ahead, so that we can make sufficient plans for the number that will be going with us. Okay, so that it's also easy for us to identify, oh, this is our people and things like that. So we'll send detailed communication ahead of that day on the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think Mr. Believe has indicated his availability for that day. I think he posted in the chat.
Nice.
And it will be available for the one of 15th.
Nice.
Yeah, I will.
Perfect.
I will be available for
15th.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we are good to go.
Yeah.
Vivian, thank you for being with us, our branch GS. We appreciate your presence. Bye-bye, everyone.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye. Mr. Believe.
Oh, and Vice Chair, thank you.
My Oga Believe. Well done, sir.
I greet you electronically. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I greet you specially.